Hi there, I am A.G. Arana. In my previous videos titled How to Create a Responsive, Attractive E-commerce Website with Bootstrap in Dreamweaver and Bootstrap tutorial How to Create a Responsive, Exciting Web Design with Bootstrap in Dreamweaver, we have seen how a website can be designed and built using Bootstrap in Dreamweaver. In this video, we will see how to design and create a landing page for a dummy travel site. That is, how to use the Z-index and placing the content, providing fading effect to the captions, embedding a video, and placing the navigation bar at the bottom. Let's proceed with the creation of this page now. First of all, come to Dreamweaver and say File, New, select HTML, ensure that you are in Bootstrap option, then say Create. Now Dreamweaver will open a blank HTML document. Now after the meta character UTF-8, we need to add two more meta tags. Let's come and attach them. Now these are the two meta tags. The first one talks about the support to the legacy versions of Internet Explorer and displaying the page in the highest standard mode supported by Internet Explorer. And the second meta tag is to ensure the browser will render the width of the page to the width of the screen. These are the two meta tags. Then after this, we need to now come and insert the code. So for the code, let's come to www.getbootstrap.com, and here if you click on download, we have the download option also here, but I am going to use the CDN version. So I'll copy these two codes for the CDN. Paste the code. Now this will paste the Bootstrap 3.3.6 bootstrap.mean.css and then bootstrap theme.mean.css. These two CSS files will be remotely available under the CDN setup. Then after this, now we need to add the fix for the Internet Explorer version before 9 for supporting the HTML5 elements, and come and paste it here. Bottom of the body portion, JavaScript, bootstrap.mean.js. This file we need to copy it at the bottom of the body portion. JavaScript is normally copied at the bottom of the body portion just to ensure that the loading of the page will be faster. Now that being now completed, let's come and give a title to this page. Now let's say it is travel tutorial, something like that, and then come and save this page. Now for saving it first, if you come to the desktop, you have to open a folder by the name test site. I have opened this folder already. Now inside this folder, I have opened two more folders. One is for the images. Now this folder carries all the images that I am going to use in this exercise, and the CSS is a blank folder. That's for the CSS file to come into it. So we'll keep that blank folder. Having opened these two folders, now let's come to the Dreamweaver and then come and say File, Save As. Here you ensure that you are in the test site folder, and inside the test site folder you come here and give the file name as index. The .html will be taken by the system, so just say index and then save. Now Dreamweaver will save this file as index.html. Once having saved the index.html file, then we need to also save the site. So for that, let's come to site and say new site, and here let's give the name travel tutorial and in the folder. In the folder, let us select the test site folder. As you can see, it is the test site. Say select and then say save. Now you will see that Dreamweaver has saved this file, the entire document, as a site with the CSS and images folders and the index.html. So let's collapse this. Now, having given the site name, title, we have to get on with the creation of the page. But before creating the page, one thing remember is that we should always have either a wireframe or a layout ready. Well, you can't simply create the page out of nothing. So for that, let's see what is the layout, type of layout we are having for this page. Like first we have the header. Now inside the header we have a logo and we have a catch line and then a call image. These are the items of the header part. And then we have a hero image. Now on the inside this hero image, we have the text, caption and button sitting over that image. This is where we'll be using the Z index. And then we have 3 images with the text and button, text and button, text and button. Then we have a heading with 3 images. Then another heading with another 3 images. Then we have a feedback section. We have an image and text, image and text, image and text. And then we have text, the location and a contact form. Location details on the left side and contact form on the right side. And then embedded video followed by the footer. The footer has 2 sections. One is the copyright info on the left side and social icons on the right. And the last is the navigation bar. This is the layout of the web page we are going to create. So let's come back to Dreamweaver. The first item we need to take up is the header part. In the header we have the logo, then we have a caption, and then we have a call indicator, telephone indicator. So let's come and build that first. So coming to the HTML here, let's first insert a div class row. We'll close the row. Now inside the row, let's place a well. Div class is equal to well. Come and close the well. Okay, inside the well, let's define another row. The first row is to take care of all these items, and the second row will take the 3 compartments. The first one is for the logo, the second one is for the text here, and the third one is for the call image. So let's have inside this row. Now let's define the columns. The first one is div class is equal to call md3. Come and close the div, call md3. Okay. Now inside this call md3, now we need to insert this logo, and that's the image. In the images, you will see that we have the image logo 1. This is a JPEG image, dimensions of 180 by 80 pixels. So let's come and insert that image. Let's say img src. In the images folder, we have logo 1.jpg. And given, let's say it is the logo image. Right. So you can see the logo straight away inserted here. If you come and save this now, and then come and view it in the browser, you can see the logo is inserted here. Now, because it is a well, there are paddings available in the well, so we need to customize the well to get it to the level of the logo. So for that, let's define the well itself. So for defining any CSS other than Bootstrap min.css, we need to define a CSS style sheet. For defining a style sheet, let's come to a file, say new, and then select CSS and say create. Now Dreamweaver will create a blank CSS document. Now this document, let us say we want to define the well. The first item we want to define is the well. Now for the well, we want to give it a background color. Let's say D8CEBEF. Let's define this color and then define it height to bring it into level with the logo. Let's say 81 pixels, and then we say margin we want it to be 0, and then padding also we want it to be 0. Remove all the paddings and margins, and then we would also give it a position relative in order to bring in the logo. We want to bring in the logo on the inside the well. So we will give the position relative to the well and then place the logo over that. Like this is the well and this logo image is placed over that well. So coming back, now we need to save this. So come to File, Save As, ensure that you are in the test site folder and double click on CSS, the blank folder that we have created, and this file now we name it as style.css. Save it. Now the file is saved as style.css. Now merely by creating this and saving this file, it doesn't get attached to the index file, and unless it gets attached to the index file, the style sheet will not work. To make the style sheet attached to the index file, let's close this style.css, then come to Windows, and here we open the CSS designer. Now in the CSS designer, we have this plus button here. If you click on that, it gives us 3 options. We say attach an existing CSS file, and then come and browse. Now in the test site, under CSS, we have the style.css, so we say OK, and then here we say OK. Now the style.css will get attached to the index file. Let's close this panel. As you can see here, the style.css got attached to the index file, and you can also see it from here. The style.css is attached, and you can see the effect immediately that the logo is fitting into the well perfectly. Now if you save this and then come and view it in the browser, first the browser, you can see that the logo is fitting into the well inside, but it is going to the extreme left. So we need to align it slightly away from the left. So for that, let's come and give a class to the column 3. Let's give it a class like logo, and then come to the style sheet and then say define logo. And here we say position absolute, and top we'll say 0, and left also 0. Then give it a Z index. Let's say 100, and then padding. It's a 0. Now if you come and save this and refresh the browser now, okay, the position is the same. So we can give a little more padding from the left side. Let's say padding to the left. Let's say 10 pixels. Then come and save it. Refresh the browser. There we are. Now the logo appears to be perfectly in place. Now the next item for us is to give the cache line. At the cache line, let's come to the source code here and then define the second column 3, div class equal to call md3, and come and close it, call md3. Right, now inside this call md3, let us define the text. To place the text inside a paragraph, here we say pioneers in the field of travel. Now this text, if you come and save it now, you don't see the text at all. This text would be hiding behind this logo. So for that, let's give a class to this call md3, and let's say something like top. Then come to the style sheet and define top. Here if you say margin left, let us say 200 pixels, you can see the text now. It has come right on top. Now for that, to bring it down, bring the text down, let us say padding to the top, let's say 30 pixels. We want to bring that text somewhere to the middle, and then also change the font type. For that, let's see the font family. We have, let's use the Sego script. Sego script or sans serif, the italic script, and then we'll have the font size, let's say 16 pixels, and then come and save this now. And if you refresh the browser, you can see that the text has come in the middle, the way we wanted it. Now the original, we have the pioneers in the field, and here also we have the pioneers in the field of travel. So here we have to add some 3 dots. Right, that's fine. So next is adding the call, telephone thing. Now what has happened is this 2 columns, we made it call md3 and call md3. Now what remains is the call md6. So let's define that remaining column. Let's say div class is equal to call md6. Come and close the column, close the div, call md6. Right, now inside this call md6 now, and here we'll enter call, and we want the telephone image to be included. So for that we need to use the glyphicon. For span class is equal to glyphicon. We'll have to come to getbootstrap.com. Come to getbootstrap.com and come to components. We have the glyphicon is the first thing. In the glyphicons, let's pick up the telephone. Okay, like glyphicon earphone. Let's copy this code and come to the HTML and let's enter the code. Glyphicon earphone, and close this and close this pen. Now here we also have to add aria hidden equal to true. Now that being done, now we need to give the digits. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is how the telephone numbers we want it to be included. So let's come and save this now, and come and refresh the browser. And you can see that the item is appearing at the extreme left of the div. For that we need to give a class. Let's define a class to the call, to the div. Let's say define it as call, and this class, let's come and define it now in the CSS call. We will say we want the text to be aligned to the right, and then we want the font size to be, let's say, 18 pixels. Let's define some 18 pixels. And then position, let us define it as absolute because we have given the well as relative. And then top, let's say 10 pixels. And right, we want it to be 10 pixels. And the Z index, let's give it as 200. And also define font family. Let us say Sego script. And then sans serif. And then we will also have padding to the top, say 10 pixels. Now if you come and save this and refresh the browser, you will see that we call image as well as the number are visible from here. So this completes the header part. Next one is to go to the hero image. Let's come to the hero image now. So coming to the HTML, let's first insert a row. So div class is equal to row, and close the div. Inside this row, let's define another class is equal to div class media. Come and close the div. Inside the media, let's now come and insert that image. And the image that we need to insert, if you come to images, you will find pick one. This is the image we are going to insert as hero image with the dimensions of 1920 by 811 pixels. It's a JPEG image. So let's come and insert that image. Let's say img src. It is in the images folder. We have pick1.jpg, and in the whole description, let us say hero image. Here we are. You can see the image inserted. Just come and save this, and come and check it up in the browser. We have the hero image. Now this hero image, because it's an image, we need to give it a class. So let's give it a class of img responsive to make it responsive to the different viewports. And you can see now the image shrinks. And also give it another class of center block so that the centered all across. Let's come and save this again. Now if I refresh the browser, you can see this is how the hero image is placed. Having placed the hero image, now we need to come and insert the text. As you can see in the original picture, like we have the heading here, then we have the caption, and then a button. So let's insert these three. Now because the image is on the background, this text we'll have to place it over the image. For that we need to place the Z index. To do that, the text part, let's come and place it before the media. Let's now come and define first H1 heading, and the heading will say travel with us. And below the heading, let us give the caption inside a paragraph. Now the caption will say, on one of the most adventurous tours of Europe. Okay, and then follow it with a button. So let's insert a button. Let's say A class equal to, let's say, BTN warning. LT and LG. Let's make it a large button, and then say href with a hash, and then role will be button, and then we say register now. Come and close the anchor, and this one we place it inside a paragraph. Come and close the paragraph. Okay. If you save this now, and if you come and refresh the browser, then you will find the text above the image. Now this we need to bring it on top of the image. For that we have to define some classes. The first one we define is for the h1. H1 will say class, let's define it as Jumbo. Okay, then come to the style sheet and define Jumbo. Inside this, let us say the position, we have to give it as absolute. Now for making this position absolute, we have to first make the picture position relative. Now do that. Let's come to the style sheet again, and here the row for the hero image, the row, let's give it a class. Let's say picture, and this row itself will make it position relative. Now if you come on top of that define picture, we define position as relative, and then say padding 0. Now this picture, underlying picture, when you define it as a relative, the next item that we need to place over them, by giving a z index and the position of the item, you can place this text and other items over the image. Let's see how this can be done. Like in Jumbo, we have given the position as absolute. Now then we say the position now, the top will be 0, then left also will be 0, and then text align, you want it to the center. Now if I come and save this and refresh the browser, you see that the text travel with us is hiding behind the logo. So we need to bring it down, because we are given top 0 and left 0. We need to bring it down and place it to the center. So if you change this, let's say top, let's say we're given percentage, let's say 20%, you can see now it has come down here. And from left side, if I say about 35%, you will find it is coming to the center here. Okay. Having given the top and left position, we should necessarily give a z index. Then only it will be able to, let's say z index 500. You can see the text coming over the image here. And then give it a color, let us say 999, and then a font size. We want the font size because this is a H1. Let's keep it a larger one, 72 pixels, and reduce its opacity to, let us say, 0.9. Okay. Now this places the H1. Now we have other two headings here that also we need to bring it down. So for that we have to come to the next to the caption, and here to the caption we give a class, say Jumbo 1, let's say P class Jumbo 1, and come to the style sheet, now define Jumbo 1. And here also we'll say the position we want it to be absolute, and then we would say top, we want it as, let's say, 41%. Let's place it in percentage so that it will take care of when it comes to the different viewports. And then we say left we want it again 41%. And here we'll give a third index of let's say 600 and make it a font size, because this is the caption. Let's make it a font size, let's say 18 pixels. And then the color of the text, we want it to be white, and make it a matching opacity of 0.8. Okay, let's save this now. And if I come and refresh the browser, you will find the heading has come down and then the caption has come down. Now when we bring the button further down, you will find all of them coming in line. So let's come back to the button now. The button also we have placed inside a paragraph. So let's give it a class, define a class, let's say Jumbo2. And then come to the style sheet here and then define Jumbo2. And the button also we say position, we want it to be absolute. And then the top, let us say we want it at about 47% alignment. And then left, let us say about 50%. And then Z index, we'll put it at about 700. And then color of the text, we want it to be say white, and the matching opacity of 0.8. Okay, now let's come and save this. And then if you refresh the browser, now you can see we have the text, we have the caption, and we have the button, all of them lined up over the hero image. Now this is how the hero image and the captions over that can be placed. Having completed the first two options, let's now come and see the responsiveness of this page in the different viewports. Now since this is a Chrome browser, let's use the shortcut key Ctrl Shift and I for opening the different viewports. The first one we have the Apple iPhone 4, 320 pixels by 480 pixels. If I refresh this, now you will find that the cache line as well as the telephone call, both these are overlapping because this is a smaller viewport. So one option for us is to hide both of them so that we have only the logo on top. To do that, let's come to the HTML here. Now the cache line, fineness in the field of travel, we have called MD3. Now if you don't want this cache line to be seen in the smaller ports, then we need to say hidden access. Now if we include this, let's come and save this now and then refresh the browser. You will find the cache line is gone. The same way for the next call button, if you come to the call MD6, here we come and say hidden dash access and come and save it. So refresh the browser. Now you will see the call item also is gone. So we have only the logo on top. Now similarly, now we need to align these items that travel with us and also the caption. So since they travel with us, the heading we have given it as 72 pixels. I think we need to come and reduce it now for Jumbo, Jumbo 1 and Jumbo 2. So coming to the style sheets, if you open up here, you can see that we have given some code to Jumbo, Jumbo 1 and Jumbo 2. Now these codes we need to alter for the viewport 360. Now to apply these changes only to the viewport 360, we need to define a media query. For defining a media query, we need to say at media screen and For the smaller screen, we say max width 320 pixels. Now we will be looking first at 320 pixels. This is the media query. We are targeting the max width 320, that is Apple iPhone 4. So let's copy this code, Jumbo, Jumbo 1 and Jumbo 2. Copy this and come and paste it here. And then go on editing the way we need it. Like the position absolute will remain the same, but the top portion for 320, let us say 18%, and the left, let's make it 25% because this is a smaller screen, and Z index will be 500, color 999, and the font size we need to reduce it substantially. Here we say 24 pixels, and opacity will be 0.09 and text align center. Now if you come and save this and refresh the browser, now you will see the travel with us. The heading has come right into the center and alignment with the image. Now coming to Jumbo 1, that is the caption. Here also the position will be absolute. The top we need to make it to say, let's say 28%, and left we need to reduce it substantially, let's say 2%, and then Z index will be 600, and the font size, let's make it 14 pixels, and color will be white, opacity is 8, and let's say text align center. Okay, let's come and save this. Refresh the browser now. You can see the text has now gone right through. Coming to the button, Jumbo 2, here also the position will be absolute. The top we need to reduce it, let's say 35%, and the left will make it, let's say 30%, and Z index will be 700, color will be white, and opacity 0.8. Let's come and save this now. If you refresh the browser, you will see that the button also has fitted in properly. So this is how the hero image will be fitted in 320 pixels. Let's come and see in 360, that is Samsung Galaxy 3. Here we need the same changes again. So for that, let's come to the style sheet and define another media query. Let's say at media screen, and here we say min width will be 321 pixels because we have already given 320 above, and max width 360 pixels. We are going to target 360 pixels. Let's come and copy the same code here. Copy it and then paste it in 360, and then go on changing it, editing it the way we want it. Like for 360, we will have the jumbo position absolute, and the top we will further reduce it to, let's say 15%, and left will be 25%. Z index will remain the same, color will remain the same, and font size, opacity, and text align center, all this will remain the same. Coming to Jumbo 1, here we only need to change the position. Like top we'll say 25%, and left let's make it somewhere 5% because screen is slightly bigger, and Z index 600, font size 14, color white, opacity 8.8, and text align center. Coming to Jumbo 2, the position will be absolute. Top will make it to 30%, and left also 30%. Z index 700, color white, and opacity 0.8. Now let's come and save this. And if you refresh the browser at 360, you can see it is perfectly fitted in within the image. That's how 360 will be defined. Coming to the iPad 768, here also we need to do some changes because the button has come down, the text is here. So let's come and define again a media query for 768. For that is add media screen, and and here we say min width 361 pixels, because we already defined 360 above, and max width would be 768 pixels. Right. Let's come and copy this code again. Copy the code. Control C. Come and paste it here. Control V. And then start editing it. Okay, jumbo, the position will be absolute. The top, we further reduce it to 10% because the screen is slightly bigger. And left will be 25%, Z is 500, color 999, font size, let's increase the font size because this is a slightly bigger screen. Let's say 60 pixels, opacity 0.9 and text align center. Coming to jumbo 1, position absolute. The top we reduce it to 20%, left we increase it to 10%, and then Z index will be 600. Font size again we'll increase it here, let's say 28 pixels. Then color will be white, opacity 0.8, text align center. Right, coming to jumbo 2, position absolute, top let's make it, let's say 33%, and left we'll have to increase it further, say 40%. Z index 700, color will be white and opacity 0.8. Let's come and save this now, and if you refresh the browser, you can see the entire text is properly aligned inside the hero image. So this is 768 pixels. Now coming to the laptop, say 1440 pixels, you can say this is okay, laptop is fine. So this is how the header and the hero image will align with the various viewports. So let's continue with the next item. Coming to the next item, now we have the 3 round images and then text and the button. So let's come to that. Now these 3 images we need to define into 3 separate columns. Since the row contains 12 columns, this will be a column of 4 grids, this will be a column of 4 grids, and this will be a column of 4 grids. Let's come and define that now. So coming to the HTML here, after the row picture, let's come and now define the div class container. Now here we want the container to be fluid, for the simple reason that we want the contents to go through the entire stretch. This is container. Now you can see here that these 3 images have to be contained inside the entire stretch of the viewport. So for that we will define container fluid, not merely container. If we put only a container, then there will be paddings. So we want it to be properly aligned. So inside the container fluid, now let's define div class row. Now if you come to the insert panel, if you open the insert panel, here we have the third item, grid row with column. If you click on this, now Dreamweaver will give a prompt. You want to insert the row with columns before the container or after the container or nested inside the container. So we want it to be nested inside the container, and then we want 3 columns. So we say next and then say 3 columns, say OK. Now Dreamweaver will insert the row and the 3 columns with SM4. Let's collapse this. Now for Dreamweaver is inserting SM4, whereas we want call MD4. Let's also add the call MD4. Come and copy this and paste it here, the second column, and come and paste it here in the third column. Now these are the divs like we have column D4. Let's come and identify these divs so that we don't land into confusion later. Similarly, for this one, let's say column D4, come and paste it here, and for this one again, come and paste it here. Okay. So these are the 3 columns of 4 grids each. We have opened it inside a container fluid and a row. Now the first item we need to now define is inside this we have the image and the list item and the button. So first let's come and place the image. So for image we'll say img src, and if you come and open the images folder, the first image that we are going to insert is pic2, a JPEG image with dimensions of 180 into 180 pixels. So it's pic2. So let's come and say in the images folder we have pic2 dot, and give an all description. Let's say it is a specialized tour. Right. You can see the image appears here. Let's come and save this. And if you refresh the browser, you will find the image appearing as a square item. Now we need to make it round. So for that we need to give class, define a class to the image. First we need to make it a responsive image responsive, and second to make it a round image, so we need to define it img circle. The img circle will make it round, and image responsive will make it responsive to the viewport. Let's come and save this now. And if you come and refresh the browser, now here you see we have the round image. Now after the image, we need to insert the list items. Unordered list, and inside the UL, let's define the li items, that is list items. The first item, London. Come and copy this and then paste it, change it to, let's say, Paris, and then come and paste it again, change it to, let's say, Switzerland, and then come and paste it again and change this to, let's say, Italy. Okay, having given the list item now, the last thing that we need to insert is the button. Now for button, if you come to the insert option here, and we have the buttons here. If you come to the drop down here, now the button, let's use the primary button. Come and insert the primary button here. Like you can see the button is inserted, and this primary button, let's change the description to, let's say, view details. Right. Let's come and save this now. If you refresh the browser, you can see that the rounded image has come about. The text list items are here and view details button is here. So we need to do some customization now for this column. The first thing we need to do is bring this rounded image slightly down because it is almost touching the hero image. To do that, let's come and give a class to the row. The first row, here we say tool types. Let's come to the style sheet and define that class tool types. Now one thing we need to be careful here is we have already defined media queries 320, 360 and 768. So the code we need to enter only when we are using media screens, then inside this media screen window. Otherwise it will always be in the main CSS window. So here we'll come and give it in the main CSS. Let's say tool types. In two types, let's give some padding to the top, so 30 pixels. If I save it and refresh the browser now, you can see that the entire column has come down. One thing. And then second thing we need to do is inside the row, we have defined div class call MD4. Now, inside this call MD4 or call SM4, let's define one more class to define this as a thumbnail. Div class equal to thumbnail. By defining a thumbnail, the alignment of the images will be properly done by the system. So for that, let's come and define the thumbnail and close the div thumbnail before the closure of div MD4. Let's come and close the div thumbnail. That will the entire column will become a thumbnail. Inside that, this UL, what we have given the UL items, we need to place them inside another div. After the image is over, let's now define another div class is equal to now call MD4. Now these div items, we want them to center. The UL items, we want them to come right to the center of the image and the button. So for that, if you say call MD4, then also give it an offset. Let's say call MD offset, offsetted by 3 columns. Okay, close it. Then come and close this div before thumbnail. Let's say call MD4. Now inside this call MD4 and MD offset 3, let's define one more div, and here we name it as caption. Div plus caption, and then come and close it. After the button, let's close that div, caption. Okay, now that we have defined the columns and the items inside, let's come and save this now. And if you refresh the browser, now you can see it has become a thumbnail. The image has come right to the center of the column, followed by the text below and the button. So one thing we need to do is remove these dots. We don't want the dots. For removing the dots, they are under the class caption. Caption UL Li. The dots are under caption UL and Li. And we also need to give it an anchor. Let's give it an anchor link. Let's say href. And then come and close the anchor. The code, let's copy this. Paste it, and here also paste it, and here also paste it, and then come and close the anchor. And here also we come and close the anchor, and here we close the anchor. Now, having done that, now you can see that under the div class caption, you have the UL, Li, and anchor item, and these items are inside that. So for that, let's define under the style sheet, let's say caption UL Li. This will remove the dots first. So for that, let's say list style none. Now you can see the dots have vanished. Now when you give a link, you will always find there is a underline. So we need to remove the underline also. For that, we need to say caption UL, Li, and A for the anchor item. Here we say text decoration none. This will remove the underline. So if you come and save this now and refresh the browser, now you can see the image is there, and the link items are there, and the button is there. one thing we need to do is this border, which is around that thumbnail item. Let's remove that border. We don't want the border there. So for that, let's say thumbnail, the class thumbnail, border none. If I come and save this now, refresh it, you find the border gone. And the button, you can see the button details, the color of the button slightly different here. So let's come and define the button color. So for that, if you come to say BTN class BTN primary, and then define the background color. You can always define any color that you want. 44677C, lighter color, and this will match with that of the image above. Just to match with the image above, slightly change the color. Okay, now this is the first column. We want the font size slightly bigger because the font size is small. So if you come under the caption LIA, and here we say font size, we want it to be say 18 pixels. Save it now and refresh the browser again. Now you can see that the font size is increased. Now to align this text, button and the image further, we need to give some more class here. First is the text, which is under the caption, the div class caption. Let's give it a class, let's say text center. This should center the text inside the div class caption. These items it will center. And secondly, the button, we need to give it an anchor reference. So to give it an anchor reference, let's put it inside a paragraph. We close the paragraph and then give it an anchor reference. Let's say ahref, give it an hash, and then come and close the anchor reference after the button before the paragraph ends. Now the button, we want it to be slightly bigger. So let's come and add that class BTNLG to make the button a little larger. And then if you come and save this now and refresh the browser, you can see the button has become larger. And this text, let's come and align it to the left. If you come to the style sheet here, come at your caption, your LI, and then say text align left. Come and save this, refresh the browser. Now you see the text is also aligned to the center, proper center. The column is now complete. The only thing is the color of the text items is blue because they are links. So to change the color, then we need to come to the LIA, and here we say color, let's say black. If you save it, refresh it, okay, this is how it will look. Now we have the round image, we have the text with an anchor, link, and then the button. So this completes the first column. So we can copy this, another two columns. If you come to that source code here, we have already given the class here called MD4. So we need to define it from thumbnail. Like we have the div class thumbnail. Let's copy it from div class thumbnail to till thumbnail. Here, I copy this, and inside the second column D4, let's come and paste this. You can see straight away the images got pasted. Then come and paste it in the third one, and then edit the details. So we have three columns. Well, let's come and change the images now. This is the second column. We change the to pick 3, and this we can make it to conducted tours. And the next one will be pick 4. Pick 4 will be honeymoon tours. Let's come and change this to honeymoon tours. Okay, having changed the images, let's now come and change the text. The first one was London, Paris, and Italy, and the second one, conducted tours. We have let's say Europe, then USA, and then Canada, then say China. Okay, then coming to the third one, the honeymoon tours. Let's change this to, let's say, Singapore, and then Malaysia. After that, let's say Thailand, and the last one, let's say Indonesia. Is all in the past. Let's come and save this now. And if you refresh the browser, now you will see you have 3 separate columns: the specialized tour, and then conducted tours, and then we have the honeymoon tours. So these are the 3 columns. As you can see in the original image, there are 3 columns, and in the present one, these are the 3 columns now we have defined. The one thing we need to do is, after these columns are over, we need to give some space. Now, for giving space below the columns, we need to define div. Div class is equal to, let's call it space. It's a blank div. And then if you come to the style sheet now, and then define in the main CSS, let's say space, we can say margin top, let's say 50 pixels. If you come and save this, and then now refresh the browser, so you will find 50 pixels margin below this item. Next we come to the 3 image column. So with the heading on top, and then the 3 images with the caption in a fading environment. So let's come and define this now. For that, let's come to the HTML, and after the div class space, let's first define a div class equal to container, and come and close the container. Inside the container, so let's define a row. Div class equal to row. Inside the row, first let's define the heading. Let's give it an H3. Let's say holidays in India. And then after that, we need to now place the 3 images. For placing the 3 images, we need to define 3 columns of 4 grids each. These 3 images, we need each of these will be a grid of 4 columns and 4 columns and 4 columns. Let's come and devise that. For that, let's come to the insert option and say grid row with column. Now here we need nesting 3 columns inside. Let's say OK. Now let us place the row with the column SN4. So this first, let's close these columns. So call MD4. To SM4, let's also add call MD4. Let's copy this and then come and paste it here. and then come and paste it here, and also the closure of the column. Let's copy this and then close the div here and come and close the div here. This is also the second row. Okay, that being done, to place the image, let's come and insert a div class media. Come and close the div media, and inside that div class media. And now let's insert the image. For insert the image, let's say IMGSRC. Now the image we have is, if you come to the images here, we have pic 5, pic 6 and pic 7. These are the three images we are going to insert. JPEG images with the dimensions of 454 by 302 pixels. So pic 5, pic 6 and pic 7. Let's come and insert the first one, images pic5.jpg, and give an alt description. Let's say image 1. Close it. Now once the image is over, we need to give a description to the image. For description, let's define the other class called media body. We come and close the div. Inside the media body, now let's come and define the text. Now here, let's say inside the paragraph, we would like to place, let's say first is Kerala. The image is of Kerala. Now if I come and save this and refresh the browser, now you can see the image has come with the text Kerala and the heading Holidays in India. Now first, let us define the title bar for Holidays in India. For that, let's come to the H3 and define it a class. Let's give it a class, let's say heading, and come to the style sheet. And here let's define the heading. Heading will say, first we want the text to be aligned to the center, and then we will also give some padding. The top and bottom, the 20 pixel top and bottom, 0 on the left and right. Then give it a background color. The background we want to give is 6, 9, D2, E7. The bluish color. Save it. And then come and refresh the browser now. You can see the heading bar is in place with the first image. Now the image, we need to first define it as image responsive. For that, we will define a class img responsive, and then the div class media. We want the items to be aligned to the center. Let's say text center. As you can see, the caption has come straight to the center. And come and save this. If I refresh again now, you can see that the caption is in the center, the image is responsive and is in place. Now we want to bring this description on top of the image and give it some fading background image. So for that we need to first define the media, like the div media. Yeah, this is the div which has the images. So this one containing the image, we have to define it as a relative position, and then the subsequent content, the media body, we want to make it absolute position. So for that, come to the style sheet here and say media. We say that the position is relative, and let's let's say bottom we want it to be 0 and the left we want it to be 0. Position will be 0 in the relative part. Then now coming to the media body, we want that caption to come on top of the image, so we have to define the media body. You can see that the media body, the text is inside the paragraph, so we want to bring that text up. So for that the style we should say media body P for the paragraph, and then give it a position absolute, and then bottom we will say 0 pixels, and then left 0 pixels. Give it a Z index, let's say 900, and then you also give it a padding. It's a padding 10 pixels top and bottom, and left is 0, left and right is 0, and then give this a background color. The background we want it to be black, and the opacity we wanted to bring it to 0.6 to make it a little more fading effect. If you now come and save this and refresh the browser, you can see that the text is appearing on the far left. So for this we need to define the width to be 100%. If you say width to be 100%, come and save it and then see. Now it has stretched to the entire stage. Now the text background we have given it as black. The text we want to make it as white. So let's say color white. Come and save it. And if you refresh the browser now, you can see the text is visible here. So we want to bring this bar down or right to the bottom, because it is about 10 pixels higher. So let's say bottom minus 10 pixels, and refresh it now. Now you find that the caption is sitting inside a fading effect bar and this center here right at the bottom. So this is for the first image. Now let's replicate this. Come down to the source code here, and the inside the column MD4 and SM4, the class media. Let's copy this, Control C, and then come and paste it in the second one, and change the image to pixx, and this instead of Kerala, now this we say Maharashtra, and then come and paste it for the third one, and this pick we will say 7, and here this will change it to Karnataka. Okay, let's come and save this. So refresh now. See that you have 3 images with captions and a title bar at the top. So let's give margin space at the bottom here. Let's define the div class space. Div class is equal to space. Close the div. Come and save it now. Refresh the browser. Here we are. Now let's see the effect of this in the viewports. Responsiveness of the page now in the viewport. So for that, let's first come to the 320 view. We will first look at the rounded image and the text and the buttons, how they are aligning here. Like you can see the image and the button is aligned fine, but the text is not aligning with the center. Coming to the source code, we find that since we have given this call MD4 with the call MD offset 3. So to align the text, the entire column to the center, we had given this call MD offset 3. Now for the smaller viewports, we need to, I think, align the only this part, that is the text part. To align only the text part, we have to target the div class caption and review li. For that, let's come to the style sheet and come to 320 pixels, and here we will target caption ul li. And let's push the text to the center. For that, let's give a margin to the left, let's say 40 pixels. You can come and save it now and then refresh the browser. Now you can see that the text has now come to the center in all the 3 cases. And the images, when you come to the bottom, the images are too close, one below the other. So we need to give some gap between the images. Now to give space between the images, let's come to the source code here, and the div, call MD4 and call SM4. Now this div, let's define a class. Let's call it something like space bottom, and then come to the style sheet, and at 320 pixels, let's define space bottom. Let's say margin bottom, it's at 20 pixels. So come and save it now and refresh the browser. Now you can see that 20 pixel spacing has come. So let's define that class space bottom to the other image also, like next call MD4 SM4. Yeah, save all, refresh it. Yes, we have. The third one will automatically have the space at the bottom. So this is how the images will look in 320 pixels. Now coming to 360, let's come back to 360. Come to 360 and see. Now we have the text to be aligned to the center. So let's come to the style sheet here, and we had given caption ul li. Let's copy this, come to 360 and paste it here. But here we need to give the margin left to 60 pixels, so 40. Let's come and save this and then refresh now. Now you can see the text has come to the center. Now coming to the images, let's copy the same code here. The images we had given space bottom, 40 pixels. Let's copy that, come and paste it in 360, and then save it and refresh again. We have the margin at the bottom. The images are divided. This is 360 view. Now coming to the tablet, iPad, and refresh it. In the iPad, the columns are properly aligned, so there's no problem there. And even in laptop, also the column will be properly aligned. So this is how the page will look in the different viewports of the responsive page. Let's now move on to the next item. The next item, the popular destinations, is almost a replica of the above 3 columns. So what we can do is come down to the HTML here and then copy the entire container. Just copy this, then after the div class space, come and paste it, and then let's go on changing the headings and images. Like instead of holidays in India, let's change the heading to popular destinations, and the images. And for the images, if you come to the images here, you will see pick 8, pick 9 and pick 10. So these are the JPEG images of the same dimensions of 454 by 302 pixels. So pick 8, pick 9 and pick 10. Let's come and place them. So the first one will be pick 8. Now this will be, let's say, image number 4, and the next one will be pick 9. This will be image 5, and the last one will be pick 10. This will be image 6. If you now come and save this and refresh the browser, now you can see we have the images, but the headings we need to now change. So the heading, the first one here was Kerala, so let's change that. This will be like Andaman, and the second one will be, let us say, Manali, and the third one will be Sikkim. Save it now and refresh it. Okay, here we are. Let's now come and give the same div class space. Come and save it, and if you refresh the browser, now here we have space at the bottom. So let's look at this popular destinations in the viewport. For that, let's use the shortcut key Ctrl Shift and I, and then come to the smallest viewport of iPhone 4, refresh it. Now if you come down and see here, okay, the images are perfectly in place. The only thing we find is the gap. The gap here looks to be much more. So for that, what we can do is come to the style sheet here, and in 320 pixels, let's say the class space, what we had defined earlier, instead of 50 pixels, let's say margin top, let's make 10 pixels, save it. Now if you come and refresh the browser, you can see the gap has come down, the gap is reduced. So this is in 320 view. If you come to 360 and look at it here, okay, the images are fine. Only thing is gap, we need to reduce that. So let's copy this into 360 also, save it and refresh again. So you find the gap has come down, fine. Let's now come to the iPad. In the iPad, you can see that the images are perfectly in place. There is absolutely no problem there. The same would be the case with the laptop. Here also the images will be properly lined up. Yes, this is the viewport view. So let's now come down to the next item. The next item for us to include is the customer's feedback. So for that we have the heading here, and then we have image, and then the text followed by the footer. So let's give this customer feedback. Come to the source code here, and after the div class space, let's first enter a container. Div class is equal to container. Come and close the container. Okay. Inside the container, let's now define a row. Now inside the row, now we need to give 3 different columns here. So for that we need to have one column of 4 grids, the second column of 4 grids, and the third column of 4 grids. So we are going to have 4 grids each. So for that, let's first come and insert a section and close the section, And inside the section, let's use the page header class. Div class is equal to page header. And then close the page header. Div. Inside this div page header, let's give the heading. So for the heading, let's come to H3, and here we say satisfied customers say, and here we want the smaller letters. Make it small, and inside the small, let's say on our tours. Now, after this page header, let's add another row. Div class is equal to row. Inside this row, now we have to add the columns. 3 columns that we wanted. Call MD4, and then call MD4. So first let's define the first div class is equal to call MD4. Come and close this. Call MD4. Let's correct this here. Okay. Now let's copy this div class call MD4 2 more times. Okay. In the first div call MD4, let's add a panel. The div class is equal to panel default. Let's add the panel default. Then come and close the div. Okay. Inside the panel, now let's give a block quote because we are giving the feedback. Let's give it a block quote and close the block quote here. Inside the block quote, let's give the text inside a paragraph. Let us say tour of London. The tour organized by travel tutorial was one of the best experiences for all of us. Okay, this is the text. After the text, we also add the footer to define whose feedback this was. Let's give it a footer at the bottom, and here we say XYZ. If this is who said that, XYZ. Come and save this, and if you refresh the browser, you will have the first column on the left side. Now we need to insert the image. We need to place these 3 images. For that, if you come to the images folder, so we have the images pic 11, pic 12 and pic 13. These are JPEG images of 60 by 60 pixels. So let's come and insert this images. For that, first, after the call MD4, before the panel, let's insert another div here and say the div here class row, and then come and close that row. Inside this row, now let's place the image. Now placing the image, let's use the imgsrc equal to, let's say, images. We have pic11.jpg and give an alt description to that. So let's say XYZ, and we also have to give a class to the image. We need to say responsive as well as image. We want it to be round, so we say circle. So alt XYZ, then close this and then close it. Now here you find the images now come in place. Let's save this, and if you refresh the browser now, You will find the image sitting at the far left corner. So we need to get this image to the center. So for that, let's have to add the class after image responsive and image circle. Let's say center block. Wherever there is the image responsive, we have to give center block to get the image to the center. Let's now come and save this, and if you refresh it, here we are. We have the image and then we have the text. Now we need to change the font style of the text. So changing the font style, we have to give it a class to the paragraph item. So we define a class here. Let us say quote. Then come to the style sheet and come to the main CSS, and here we define quote. Font family, we want it to be italic, so let's say go script, and then sans serif. Then the font size 16 pixels. If you come and save it now and refresh the browser, you can see that the font type has come in italics. Now this author XYZ, we want to push it to the right. Now for that, if you come to the source code here, and the author XYZ is in the footer. So we say footer align, footer we say align right. If you come and save it now and then refresh the browser, you can see the author's name is going to the right. And one more thing we need to do is give little space between the image and the column. The image is within the row. For that we need to give a class to the row, we say gap, and then come to the style sheet here and define gap. You will say margin bottom, let's say 10 pixels. If you come and save this now and refresh, you will find there is a gap of 10 pixels. So this completes the first column. Now the item within the column D4, like the div class row, to the end of the panel here. Let's copy this and come and paste it in the second one, and then go on changing the contents. Like the image we have here is image 12. This would be, let's say, ABC, and the text here, if you say the tour of Paris instead of London, we say Paris, the tour organized by travel tutorial for Paris. Paris was quite exciting, particularly seeing the Eiffel Tower at midnight. Okay, this is the text, and here the author's name, we can say ABC. Come and save it now and refresh the browser. We have the second image and the text. Similarly, let's come to the third column D4 and then paste that content and go on editing the image. The image will be 13 and the alt will be E and F. The text, let's say tour of Switzerland. And let's change the contents here. Traveling through the icy mountains and experiencing snow and rainfall was a unique experience. Okay, and then here we say the author DELF. Come and save it, and now refresh the browser. So we have the customer feedback, 3 columns with the image and the text. Now you can see that because it is a block quote, there is an extra line here. There is extra line, so I would like to remove that line. So for removing the line, if you come to the style sheet here and say block quote, and here we say border none. So remove that border, and if you refresh it now, you can see that the border is gone. Now between these 3 columns, if you see the first column is closing up a little earlier because of the lack of content. We need to align these columns to have some uniformity. So for that, wherever there is a content is slightly less, then what we can do is before the panel ends, if you come here and define div class, let's say clearfix, and then come to the style sheet and define the class clearfix, the padding bottom, let's say 20 pixels. Come and save it, and now if you refresh, you can see the columns have now come in alignment, despite the fact that the content here is less. So let's look at these 3 columns in the viewport point of view. For that, let's use the shortcut key Control Shift and I. Come to the Apple iPhone 4 in 20 pixels, and then come and see how it looks. Okay, the only thing is the heading part. Satisfied customers say on our tours. This is slightly overlapping in 360 pixels. So we need to target the div class page header H3. Let's come and target that. Coming to the style sheet, come to the class page header H3. Let's target the H3 and say that we want the font size to be, let's say, 14 pixels. We come and save this and then refresh now. The font size become too small. So let us say 16 pixels. Save it and then refresh it. Okay. You can even make it to 18 pixels. Come into the, that's fine. And then the content, you can move it slightly to the right. Let's say margin left, 10 pixels. And then you can even further increase it to say 20 pixels. Come and save it now. Okay, now it's fine. We have all the 3 columns properly in alignment. So coming to the 360 pixels, here we can see the text is slightly overlapping. So let's come and define that page header H3, Control C, and come and paste it here. And we'll make it let's say 24 pixels and then see. Okay, this should be fine. This is fine. Then coming to the iPad. The iPad, okay, it will remain the same. Only thing is we need to realign these 3 columns side by side because it is SM. So to realign it, where we have given call MD4, let's also add call SM4 and copy that call SM4 and add it to the other lower columns, and call it inform. Come and save it now and refresh the browser, and you see you have all the 3 columns in a row. Now coming to the laptop, 1440. At 1440, all 3 columns are in place. So this is how the page will appear, and the feedback from customers also will appear on the viewports. Now we'll move on to the next item. The next item for us to look into is the location details and the get in touch column. The location details on the left side and get in touch column on the right side. Now these are 2 column layout. That means the location details will require 6 columns, and the contact or the get in touch will require 6 columns. So let's come and define this. For that, let's first come and define a new class container. Come and close the container. Inside the container, now let's define a row. New class is equal to row. Come and close the row. Okay, now inside the row, now we need to define 6 columns. So let's say div class equal to column MD6. This is for the left side. And the same column MD6, let's copy it for the right side. Now first coming to the left side part, column MD6. Now let's place a panel inside this. The div class is equal to panel default. Come and close the panel. Inside the panel, we need to give the panel body, so that there is some padding available between the panel and the content. That's a panel body. Come and close it. Okay. Now inside the panel body now, let's first define a heading H2. Inside the H2, let's say our location, and below that, let's define an H3, and here we'll say travel tutorial. This is the name of the concern, and then below that, let's put an H4. Inside the H4, let's say address, then put another H4, we'll say offices, and then another one, here we say branches, and then let's put up under the paragraph content. Here we say email, at gmail.com, something like that. And then next will be phone number. Over here we say phone. And then we can also add a fax. Okay, so this completes the left hand part. So let's come and save this now. and if I refresh the browser, you can see that this item has come within a column on the left side. Okay, now let's move on to the right side. Now here we need to define the contact form. So under column D6, here also we have the same class, panel default and panel body. Let's copy that and come and paste it here and close both the panel default and panel body. So first one will be panel body. And the next one will be panel default. Okay. Now inside this panel body, now let's first give a heading of say H2 and let's say get in touch with us, and after that let's define the form. Here we say form action, let's give it a hash, and then we'll say role equal to form, and then method equal to post. Let's come and close the form. Inside the form, now let's define the form group. For that, let's say div class is equal to form group. Come and close the div. Form group. Inside the form group, now let's define the label and the input. First, let's define the label. Label for, let's say first one will be name. So let's say full name. Say name. And come and close the label, and then after that let's define the input, like input type, let's say text for the name, and the class would be form control, and after the class let's use an ID, the same ID as above, let's say full name, and then the placeholder. Placeholder will say enter your name. Okay, this completes the first form group. So let's copy this form group, Control C, and then come and paste it for the second item. Second item would be label for email, and here we say email. The input type will also be email, and the ID will again be email, and placeholder, enter your email ID. Right, like we enter this. Okay, now let's copy the form group again, Control C, and then come and paste it for the third item. Now this will be label for, let's say message, and here we say message. The input type, let's remove this and then place text area because it is for the message, and the ID will be message, and in the text area we don't require placeholder, so remove the placeholder and then come and close the text area. Okay, now after this, after the form group, now we need to insert the button. Let's come and insert the button. For that, let's open up the insert panel. In the insert panel, we will find the buttons here. So let's use the button primary and collapse this and close the panel. Now the button primary, the button type, let's first change this to submit, and the description button primary, you change it to submit. The other things will remain the same. Now let's come and save this. And if you refresh the browser, you can see that there are two columns, the location on the left side and get in touch with the right side. One difference that we'll observe is the our location column is slightly lower than the get in touch with column. That's because of the lesser content. So we want to align both these columns. For that, let's come to the source code here, and then come up to the our location panel, and within the panel body, immediately after the packs, let's add one more div class. Let's say clear fix we have already provided, so we say clear fix bottom. We'll add another class here and make it a blank div. And if you come to the style sheet, and in the normal CSS, we have already given a clear fix padding bottom 20 earlier. So now let's define clear fix bottom. Now here we say padding bottom, let's say 50 pixels. Come and save this, and if you refresh the browser now you can see that both the columns are properly balanced. Now there are two changes we need to make further. First is the gap between the upper column and this column is less, so we need to provide that div class space to give some gap there, so that if you come to the container of our location, and above that let's define the div class is equal to space, and save this. Now if you refresh the browser, you will find yes, we have sufficient space. One other thing is because we place both these columns inside the panels, there is a margin of 15 pixels on left side as well as on the right side. Now we want to align both these panels with the panels on top, so that there will be some uniformity. Now to do that, let's first come to the our location panel here, and to the panel default, let's define a class. Let's say align, and come to the style sheet here, and come to the normal CSS, and here we'll say class align. Now we want the margin to the left to be negative 15 pixels, minus 15 pixels. If you save this now and refresh the browser, now you will find the column has come in line with the upper column. Now similarly, the right side column also, we need to push it slightly to the right. To do that, let's come to the source code here, and the next column, which is the form. So the panel default, let's give it a class. And let us say contact, and then come to the style sheet here, and let's define the class contact. Contact will say margin to the right. We want to the right to be negative 15 pixels. Let's come and save this. Now if you refresh the browser, you will find the get in touch column going 15 pixels to the right. Now both these columns are properly aligned. Now let us see how these columns look in the viewports. So for viewing them in the viewports, let's use the shortcut key Control Shift and I. Coming to 320 pixels Apple iPhone 4, let's refresh this, and if you come down, now you will see that our location is moved to the left side, and the get in touch is slightly moved to the right side. That's because of the negative 15 pixels margin we had given in the normal CSS. So for that, to correct this, now let's come to the 320 pixels CSS, 320 pixels, and here we'll say the align and contact. Both these codes, let's copy them and come and paste it in the 320 and make this 0. We'll remove the negative margin on both ends. If you come and save it now and then refresh the browser, you can see that the columns have come perfectly in alignment. Now if you come into 360, Samsung Galaxy 3, if you refresh this and then come down, now here also the same issue here. So let's copy the same code. Align and contact with 0 pixels. Come to 360 and paste it here. Save it and now refresh the browser. Okay, the columns are now in alignment. Let's move on to now the iPad. And in the iPad, the columns are stacked one below the other. So let's bring them in one line. To do that, if we come to the source code here, and the first column here, say call MD6. So here we add call SM6. Then copy that code call SM6 and come and define it for the lower call MD6. And now come and save this. And if you refresh, you find both the columns in alignment. So this is iPad. Now coming to the laptop, refresh this, and in the laptop you have both the columns next to each other. So this is how these columns will now look in the viewports. With this, now move on to the next item. So first of all, let's give the div class space at the bottom. So come to the HTML here and then define the div class equal to space and close the div. Save it, refresh again. Okay, we have the margin at the bottom. Now next thing that we need to do is embed the video. Let's see how to embed this video. For that, let's come to the HTML here and then open up the insert panel. In the insert panel, we have a responsive video embed code. So this option is here, responsive video embed. If you click on this, now Dreamweaver will insert the code on the left side. Let's close this, and then you will find the image appearing on the right side. So first let's come and save this, and if you refresh it, now you will find the video appearing here. Now this is the default video, one thing, and second thing, it is stretching from end to end of the screen. So we don't want it to stretch to end. So for that, first let's place this inside a container. And come and close the container here. Okay. Now this video that is embedded is the Adobe's default video. Now instead of the default video, I want to incorporate my own video. So for that, I'll have to pick up the code from YouTube. Because I have my video on YouTube. For that, let's come to YouTube. Now coming to YouTube, this is my YouTube channel in which I have the Andaman tour video. Now how to embed this video here, if you come down to share, you click on that, you will find some code appearing here, and in this further you have the option of embed. Now this code, what is appearing here, you need to copy this and then paste it. Having pasted the code, now you will find the video appearing on the right side. Now you can see that the iframe width is given as 560 pixels width and 315 pixel height. This is defined by YouTube. Let's come and save this and then refresh the browser. Here you can see the video appearing for the full width. The video is appearing for the full width, and this is a live video. Now we can give a title to this video. For giving a title, let's come inside the container here and say H3, close the H3, let's say watch video of Andaman tour. Save it again, and now if you refresh, okay, we have the title for the video, heading for the video, and the video is visible. Let's see how this video now figures in the viewports. For that, let's use the shortcut key Ctrl Shift and I, and we'll come to the smallest viewport, Apple iPhone 4. Refresh this, and if you come down, you can see this is how the video will be appearing. Now the heading here overlaps, so we can reduce the font size. So for this, let's give this container a class so that we can target the H3 of that class. Let's give this class, or let's say video, and then come to the style sheet here, and in the 320, let's come to 320 pixels, and here we'll define the class, let's say video H3. If I say now define the font size, if I say 24 pixels, save it, and if you refresh now, size has not changed, let's say 18 pixels. Yeah, now you can see that the font size has come down. And if you want the heading to the center, you can also say text align center. Come and save this. If you refresh again now, you can see that the text has come to the center, and this is how the video will be looking. It's in 320. Let's come to 360. 360 pixels. Yeah, we have the video properly in place. Coming to the iPad 768, and here the video is stretching to the entire width. And then again for the laptop, if I refresh this, you find the video stretching to the entire width. So the video is well placed now. This is how the video will appear in the viewports. So let's close this, and one thing we need to do is give it spacing at the bottom. So coming to the source code here, after the close the container for the video, let's give the div class equal space, and then close it. Come and save the. Next, we come to the footer and define a footer class. Footer class, that is the footer. Come and close the class footer. Inside the footer, let's first define a class container. Come and close the div. Inside the container, let's define div class equal to row. Come and close the row. Inside the row, now we have to define left side copyright items and the right side the social icons. For the left side copyright items, let's define a div class call MD6. And close the column D6. Inside the column D6, now let's define the text for the copyright. Inside the paragraph, let's say and copy copyright. You can specify the year, whatever year you want, and add something like all rights reserved or any such item that you want to put it in the footer. This is for the left side. Now let's come and define the second div, call MD6. Come and close the div. Inside this, now let's define the social icons. For that, let's give a UL, unordered list. give it a class of list inline. This is to ensure that the social icon items remain in one line instead of one below the other. And then define the list items. The first list item we define is Facebook. And copy this. We'll paste it. And the second one, let's change it to Twitter. And come and paste the third one. Change this to, let's say, Google Plus. Let's confine to 3. Now let's save this. Refresh the browser. Refresh the browser. Let's come down here. You see that the copyright item text is on the left side of first column, and the social icon items on the left side of the second column. This is by they are the left side by default. So first, what we need to do is define the footer, the class footer, what we have given here footer. So let's come to the style sheet here, and in the main CSS, let's define footer. First, let's define the background color. Background will say 135371, dark blue color, and then give it a padding of, let's say, 30 pixels top and bottom and 0 on the left and right. Now let's come and save this and then view it in the browser. Refresh the browser. You can see this is how the footer will be now looking. So the social icon items, now we need to push them to the right. To push these social icon items to the right, let's come to the source code here, and the social icons, the column in the 6, let's give it a class of social, and then come to the style sheet here and define that class social. We say that we want the text to be aligned to the right. Save it and refresh the browser. You can see that the items have moved to the right. So since these are the links, let's provide them the link reference here. So you say ahref, it's a hash, and close the anchor. Copy this code and come and paste it for the second item, and come and paste it for the third item, and then close the anchor link, and here also we close the anchor link. So let's come and save this now, and if you refresh the browser, now you can see these are the social icon items, and this is the copyright. So the copyright, we want to change the color. So let's give it class copyright and come to the style sheet here and give the class copyright. And here we say we want the color to be white. Let's give it an opacity of 0.6. Save all and then refresh again. Okay, now this looks a little muted. So this is how the footer, the top part of the footer will be worked. Now let's put a line beneath this top part of the footer. So coming after the container here, let's come and define the HR class is equal to line. Come to the style sheet and define line. Let's say border 1 pixel solid. Let's say 263232. Let's try this. Come and save this and refresh the browser. You can see the line has come through. So now we move to the second part. The second part is the navigation bar. the fixed bottom navigation bar. So for attaching the navigation bar, let's come after the closure of class line, and then come to the top here, and here you find on the drop down nav bar fixed bottom. So let's select this item, nav bar fixed bottom. Dreamweaver will insert the code on the left side, and you can see the navigation bar appearing on the right side. Now one thing we need to notice is if you come up here, the Dreamweaver has inserted inline style, padding bottom 70 pixels. Now whenever we insert either a fixed to bottom or fixed to top navigation bar, the Dreamweaver will insert the padding. So here it is, since it's a padding bottom, it is inserted padding bottom 70 pixels. Let's see how to deal with this later. First let's come to the navigation bar. And here as you can see, the navigation bar has a white background. So we need to first change the background color. So let's come and insert nav bar inverse, which will provide a black color to the navigation bar. Save this and refresh the browser. You will see the navigation bar here. So the next thing for us to do is delete all these items on the left side. We don't need all of them. We're going to keep only the 2 items on the right side. So let's come and delete them. To delete these items, we have to come to the collapse nav bar collapse. Here you have UL class nav bar nav. So this we'll have to come up to nav bar right. Here we have. We have nav bar right. So this entire code, if you delete this, you will find all the items getting deleted. Even the brand. Let's delete the name brand also from here. We only keep the 2 navigation items on the right side. So here we have only 2 navigation items. So the first item, link. Let's come and change this to home. And having changed it to home, let's give the li a class of let's say active. So you will find the background color of the active item getting black. Having given the li class, we also need to give a span class here for screen readers. Span class SR only. Then put a bracket, current, close the bracket, and then close the span. Now having done that, the next item for us to get rid of the drop down. So we don't want the drop downs here. So let's get rid of them. So from li drop down, we'll come to the, let's come up to your li and delete this. So you will find the drop down getting deleted. So you have only home item here. So let's come and incorporate the next list item, that is about, which is like about us, and then copy this and come and paste the third time here we say contact, which will be for contact us. Now since these are menu items, let's give them a anchor reference. Let's ref hash, close the anchor and come and close the anchor here. Copy this code and come and paste it for the next item and come and close the anchor. Come and save it. So refresh the browser. You can see we have only 3 menu items on the right side. So the color of this navigation bar doesn't match with that of the footer. So we need to match the color of the footer. For that, we have to come to the nav class, nav bar default and up to nav bar inverse. Let's copy this entire code and come to the style sheet here. In the normal CSS, let's put a dot, paste that code, and then give a curly bracket and put a dot here, and then backspace wherever there are gaps. Put a dot and fill up those gaps with a dot and a backspace. We have dot and a backspace. Okay. Now here we define background color to match that of the footer. That is 135371. save it and then refresh the browser, you will find the color of the navigation bar matches that of the footer. So next thing we need to do is get rid of this gap. We have seen in the HTML earlier here that Dreamweaver inserted a padding bottom 70 pixels. Now this 70 pixel padding, let's remove it and make it 0, and then come and save it and refresh the browser. Now you can see the navigation bar getting attached to the top part of the footer and gets scrolled as we want it to be. So next item for us is to change the background color. Instead of black, we want to change the background color to, let's say, blue. So changing the background color, we need to come to the style sheet here, and the code for changing the background color is a little lengthy. So what I'll do is I'll just paste that code here. This is the code for changing the background color of the navigation bar. This is navbar inverse, navbar nav active A, navbar inverse, navbar nav active A focus, navbar inverse, navbar nav active A hover. So let's come and change the color, define a background color here. Let's say background to be, let's say 11C2 F8 blue color. Come and save this, and if you refresh the browser now, you will find the color has gone blue for the active item. So similarly, we want to change the hover color to match that of the active item for the other two navigation items. So for that, let's come to the source code here. These navigation items are covered under collapse, navbar collapse. Under this, we have the UL and LI. This is where these two navigation items are there. So let's copy this code. Then come to the style sheet here. In the normal CSS, put a dot, paste the code, and say UL, LI, and we want to give a hover effect to that. Give a curly bracket and then put a dot here and give a backspace. And we want to retain the same color as we have given to active items. So let's come and paste this, and then come and save it. And if you refresh the browser now, if you see when you hover, you find the colors of the other two navigation items also turning into blue. So this completes the navigation, but before we conclude, let's move these three menu items to come in line with the social icons above. So to do that, coming to the style sheet here, we need to move the last item, contact, and the last item is the LI here, contact. Let's give it a class. Let's say last, and come to the style sheet, and here we define that class last, the curly bracket here, and then give it a margin to the right. Let us say 50 pixels. Come and save it, and now if you refresh the browser, you can see the navigation items are in line with the social icons above. So this completes the navigation and the footer. So let's see how the footer will now figure in the different viewports. So for testing the viewports, let's use the browser Firefox. Let's test this in Firefox. The shortcut key for viewports in Firefox is Control Shift and M. So here let's come to the smallest viewport, 320. So you see that the copyright item and the social icons are not in alignment. To bring them into alignment, if you come to the HTML, we will see that the column copyright already has a class of copyright here. So let's copy this and come to the style sheet, and 320 pixels. Let's come to 320 pixels, and here let's come and define that class copyright. The text align center. Let's copy this code here. and paste it. Similarly, coming to the next item of social icons, so here also we see that there is already a class social. Let's copy that, come to the style sheet and put a dot and define that class social here. And here also we'll say that the text we want to be aligned to the center. So let's come and save this now, and if you refresh the browser, you will find the items getting aligned to the center. So let's give a little gap between these two items. So for that, let's target the copyright and we say padding to the bottom. Let's say 20 pixels. Come and save it and refresh the browser again. You can see that 20 pixel padding is come about. And this is how the navigation bar will look. Coming to the next item of 360. We come to the bottom here. You see again the alignment is mismatched. So let's copy that code, copyright and social. Control C and then come and paste it in 360 pixels. Paste it here, save it, and then refresh the browser here. You will find the items getting aligned, and this is the navigation. So let's close this. Now coming to the iPad 768. Now the iPad, we have the menu items stretching the entire thing, but only thing the social items are coming in the lower line, so we need to align it with the copyright item. So for that, let's come to the HTML here, and we are going to call MD6. Let's define call SM6 to bring it in alignment for the smaller viewport. Let's copy this and then come and paste it in the next div and then save it. Now if you refresh the browser, you will find the items getting properly aligned. Now for 768 pixels, the movement of these items will be a little more. So let's reduce their gap. So the item that we had selected above in the normal CSS was last. So let's copy that and come to 768 pixels and paste it here and reduce that gap to, let's say, 20 pixels. Save it, and if you refresh the browser now, you will find the menu items getting aligned. So coming to the next item, we will have the normal 1280 by 600. This is the normal view. So this is how the page will now look in the viewports. This completes the video on the web page. So recalling again, we have the top slot where we have the logo, then we have the cache line, and then call details on the top. Then we have hero image with the heading and a caption and a button, followed by 3 columns, the image, text and button, image, text and button, followed by 3 images on the gallery, and the next 3 images on the gallery, and then a feedback from the customers, and then a location detail on the left side, the contact on the details on the right side, followed by an embedded video, which is a live video, followed by the footer. I hope you like this. Thank you.